It was 2 for 1 day in the international waters of the Pacific Ocean off the coast of El Salvador. Not one, but 2 narco-subs were captured. On board these 2 submarine-like semi-submersibles were waterproofed bales of cocaine weighing 4,156 kilos. The government says it has a street value of about $104 million US, which is one of that country's official currencies, or in El Salvador's other official legal tender, it's worth 2,050 Bitcoin. Oh, that's right. Bitcoin is an official currency in El Salvador, the brainchild of its energetic and controversial president, who revealed the details of his Navy's capture of the narco-subs on New Year's Eve. The mob reporter here with news of the historic high seas capture, a rare twins day, when 2 narco-subs were hunted and caught in the same operation, and of the remarkable boat the Navy used to pull it off, with just 4 sailors. Let me tell you about it. One narco-sub was caught 406 nautical miles south of Punta Remedios, and the second even further out at 430 nautical miles from shore, both in the international water off the coast of El Salvador. Both boats were caught on the same night, December 27, 2021. The narco-subs were spotted motoring from Colombia bound for Mexico, from where their product was likely destined for the United States. The narcos' boats were low-profile vessels, often called LPVs. They're semi-submersibles that travel low in the water, partly submerged to avoid detection. Long, slender, and sleek, they look like old submarines when cutting through the water, carrying cocaine from South America. The interdiction was a thrifty affair and done in the deep darkness of the night, involving just a Navy officer and 3 Marines. But get this, the sailors were using a speedboat that had just been seized a few weeks before from other cocaine smugglers. Incredible. The first narco-sub was stopped at 1 a.m. While 2 soldiers stayed behind to guard the drugs and 3 crew, the remaining 2 soldiers pushed on and caught up to the second narco-sub at 3:30 a.m. That second sub had a crew of 4. Caught holding these hefty hauls were 7 foreign crew, 5 citizens of Colombia and 2 citizens of Ecuador, according to government officials. El Salvador doesn't go in for blurring faces of those accused of serious crime, instead embracing the modern-day equivalent of parading them through the town square. These 7 men were showcased on social media on New Year's Eve, presented by the president like a party gift. And here are the accused men on Monday, January 3, 2022, at their first court appearance. All of them dressed in El Salvador's prison whites. In El Salvador, white is the new orange. The captured loads were large by almost any measure, and the seized products, the crew, and the narco-subs were all joyously documented by the government. Respect to El Salvador for turning the seizure of coke into such an Instagrammable photo op as this. This is in keeping with the flash and brash style of El Salvador's 40-year-old president, Nayib Bukele. Bukele's Twitter bio once read "World's Coolest Dictator," but now reads CEO of El Salvador. With his fondness for leather jackets, jeans, and backward ball caps, he can come across as more Bitcoin bro than national president. I checked 3 times to make sure this really was the Twitter account of the country's president. Not many can successfully pull off mixing Bitcoin memes with major law enforcement announcements. Sats are portions of a Bitcoin, like pennies are to a dollar. Bukele has been hammering home a tough-on-crime message since his election in 2019, expanding security forces and boasting of arrests and record seizures. He made his biggest international splash, though, for a different national policy, one that took effect this past September when he added a second official currency, Bitcoin, as legal tender in the country. It made El Salvador the first country in the world to make a cryptocurrency official legal tender, having it alongside its other official currency of the US dollar. The country of about 7 million people in Central America has long struggled with high rates of poverty and gang violence. A decade ago, it was notorious for having the world's highest murder rate, but that's been steeply curtailed. In the US media in recent years, El Salvador seems synonymous with the aggressive street gang MS-13, more formally known as Mara Salvatrucha. The large population of expat Salvadorans in the United States meant the MS-13 spread widely and quickly, and then brought to El Salvador by deportees and returnees, where it flourished, gaining a stronghold on street crime and engaging in turf wars. Bukele, the president, is popular with many in El Salvador with his push for modernization and new ideas, but he has also shown strong authoritarian inclinations. There are numerous published allegations he lowered his country's murder rate through secret negotiations with the rival gangs. Despite his raging enthusiasm, his embrace of Bitcoin hasn't proved particularly popular with working Salvadorans and have been met with public protests. But he certainly ended the year with a bang and made the most of the narco-subs seizures, personally making the announcement, and with his security cabinet members directly supervising the arrival of the trophy subs and the transfer of their cargo. Bukele had already boasted that 2021 was a record year for drug and money seizures from narcos in his country. A month before these narco-subs were caught, the Navy stopped and captured 3 open-top speedboats, making a similar run past the coast. Those speedboats were carrying 2.7 tons of coke, crewed by Mexicans, Colombians, and Ecuadorians. It was one of these boats that was used to hunt down the narco-subs. How's that for reduce, reuse, and recycle? The government said about $270 million worth of drugs were seized in 2021. That's a lot. But I'll leave it to you to figure out what all that's worth in Bitcoin. Thanks for watching.